This is Mike Giesing. The whole idea of starting companies in Northeast Ohio to help our economy really starts with an idea. And we're here this morning with Mars Systems. And across from me you'll see Claude Kennard, CEO, and Tony Kuhl as well, who is the COO. And I think we can really start by talking about exactly what the actual firm does here, Claude. Now, what is Mars Systems? Can you identify really your firm from the start?
Well, basically our core competence is to be a clean technology company. We take recycled materials from the hydrocarbon industry or waste non-hazardous materials, and we identify beneficial reuses for those materials in industrial applications.
Okay. And Mars is actually a spin-off of your original film, right, called Metalloy?
Yes, it is. Metalloy developed technologies based on the concept of recycling spent catalysts, and once we get to a certain critical mass, we spin the company off, have it as a self-contained entity that can grow and hopefully be sold in the future.
Now, the way I understand it too is you've got a material called spent alumina.
Yes.
And I guess you went to an EPA-sponsored conference and found out that might be used in some interesting ways. Can you explain that a bit more?
Pretty much. We were working with a group here in Cleveland called ETC Squared, and it's one of the groups within Battelle that tries to bring corporations into the EPA and other governments to help develop technology. And we were invited to a session down in the Cincinnati Research Center where we met with about 10 researchers there to identify what they were doing to see if there was some synergy between what they were doing and what we could probably provide to assist. And that was the genesis of the technology to use spent alumina to remove arsenic, mercury, and heavy metals from gas and air.
That's the core of your products right here now.
Correct. Yes. A range of materials from the hydrocarbon industry to as a feedstock into the steel industry, abrasives industry, or the cement industry.
I see. Tony, also you've been involved with the firm too, and you've got a history with Claude, I guess. Don't you both go back to the days of BP Oil here in Cleveland?
That's right, Mike. We worked together for higher math when you add the numbers of it. Well over 20 years working together on major projects, global projects, and in some cases literally fighting fires together. So we know each other very well. We've been kind of separated for a few years.
Right.
Claude doing his metal and my work with the knowledge management activities in Aeschylus and automation, but all coming back together around Mars Systems and what we're trying to do with and for Northeast Ohio.
I see. So you had some thought about growing the company and adding management staff. You thought about hiring this guy back.
It was, one of those, odd moments, I guess that's the best way to put it.
Used to be weak moments.
No, I'm always positive here. I was talking to a mutual friend of ours about, trying to figure out how to make something happen and who we can include that mix. And Tony's back in town. Like a name from the past, it seemed like. And Tony Kuhl, he's back, and kind of like looking for an opportunity, and I think this would be a synergy that would work for both of them. As soon as I hung up the phone, I called the number that was given, and Tony said, well, let's sit and talk.
Well, you're trying to grow a firm here in Northeast Ohio. You're one of the invested in by Jumpstart?
Currently, to my count, at least to my knowledge, companies have invested in by the Start program.
And I think last I did. We're interested in your company because you forecasted this to grow to about what in about 4 to 5 years?
Well,
what was your forecast of sales?
In order to be a portfolio, you have to at least feel your sales process within three. The information that Tony and I and our financial people have been able to put together, Mars should grow to approximately $48 million within 5 years.
That's the actual market you're trying to push now, because your product takes arsenic out of drinking water. Now, is this from the lake or from wells?
Removed, and most of those are found in the aquifers, as well as regions where spots are. And when we drill wells in Ohio, such as in Middlefield and Burton, parts per billion, when the EPA dropped the standard down to third, many that were in compliance prior to that date are out of compliance. And now they're struggling to try to figure out an extra billion water in.
Well, out of your business plan.
That's very true. However, we must admit that as a result of that meeting we talked about earlier with the EA about 5 years ago, the technology and the work that we've been able to them to develop the right process for the right cost and end product. So that's the technology that we're developing.
So the EPA is a co-owner, you said?
Correct. Yeah, they have licensed the technology to us that was through us in conjunction with them.
And it's exclusive since to Mars Systems business.
Now, I also understood a little bit of work, and that's being done downstate now at Ohio University in Athens.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic. We tried desperately to tie in with one of the local universities in the Cleveland area to rise there and hopefully bring basically direct to northeastern Ohio. And we migrated into what they call a water center. We've been trying, kind of pounding on doors, got me nowhere. One of our future board mentioned maybe we can look at her school that she's supporting in Ohio University. So so did our EPA contact, Dr. Mike Gonzalez, mentioned Ohio University. We gave him a call, and basically we got total. We felt comfortable with them. They seeking this type of support from industry to come into their school to help their students understand there is a transition between collegiate activities and industrial applications, and Ohio University being what's the right term? It's an academic, but it's also not just a research place. They wanted their students from that academic and support about 3 to 4 students over the last year and a half, really probably last year, realized that there is something they can take than just academic learning.
I was going to add that we can drink water, but the technology also has significant its ability to take and also selenium. But mercury and selenium are particularly interesting because of the result of the coal-fired activities. And Ohio University is kind of a center for coal research and commercializing the product, so have a natural fit with some of the aspects of the industrial side of water treatment.
So you're proof of concept, and you're really kind of ramp up to get more investors. You can restart up a main manufacturing facility.
Yes, we are. As a jumpstart portfolio, one of the goals of being a member of that group is that you try to build business within northeastern Ohio, and our first round of funding it ranges between $1.5 to $5 million. It just depends on what type of application or processing facility we're going to construct. But the goal is to bring a fully operating unit here in northeastern Ohio, either Cleveland or Youngstown, Lorain, wherever there is basically smokestack opportunities for us to go into those older buildings that has the elevation we need, plus the rail service that we will need, which is critical to our system, so that we can bring material from all parts of the United States into Cleveland for processing and have it as a site for us to ship it out to our various customers.
I want to, before you add up, the distinctiveness of the Mars Systems products. Actually, the term we're using now is Sorbster, and it's going to be a line of products. Mm-hmm. And the kind of as the name infers, sort of roadster, Sorbsters, the distinction it has, moves a metal in a matter of seconds. There's a number of commercial technologies out there, but they take minutes. They take large equipment, lots of volume, and very expensive to take the metal out. This product actually removes it in just a matter of seconds. And so there's nothing else on the market that matches the performance that we're seeing in this line of products.
So you expect to have a very competitive edge when
Yeah, absolutely.
Very much so.
And I guess part of your network really are some potential customers in the consumer plus the actual business side of the market.
Yeah, we've been blessed also to have a great group of people that have stopped and have open discussions with us strategically to advance in the various metal ranges that Tony has mentioned. Mercury, these are products that are actually facing many industries right here in the greater Cleveland area. And these people have, once we mentioned that we have a material potential of doing something, they were right there. Bring your material. We need so many patents for a trial. What can we do to help you? I mean, that was almost like a shock for us to kind of realize that within some of the people that Tony and I from our days with BP, these people that we knew were people that can try to offer these, and we've been really pleased. really helped us develop the particle size requirement, the fluidity questions that we have asked, or kind of marched our way through this process. You know, technology people, we're primarily refinery technology people, not water technology
I
people.
see.
So, you know, being somewhat like fish out of water, some of these supporting people have actually helped us perfect our material to a good extent.
It puts us in a situation where we're actually providing a solution to a real problem, and then that's driving us to be innovative, to come up with new ways of doing things, and look at the client and with some of the other organizations that we're partnering with.